Okay, good morning. Good morning. I'm live and I just jumped on here a few minutes before the start time because I'm still experimenting with um, technology. And I realized that for these live streams, I live on an island and the internet is not the best. And so I'm not really sure what my video and my audio quality is like. You're welcome if anybody is watching to post a comment if the audio and the video are okay. I understand it's probably a little choppy, but the thing is, for this guided meditation, you really only need to hear me is the most important, that you can follow my voice. So in that sense, the video quality isn't really the most important thing. So yeah, just checking the technology. We're not going to start until 10 o'clock, so we still have a couple of minutes. So happy Easter to anybody who celebrates Easter as a holiday. I don't follow any specific religion, so I can't say that I celebrate religiously any specific holidays, but I can appreciate Easter for what it is and celebrate its meaning. From my yogi perspective, Jesus was a yogi. He was an enlightened being. He was a carrier of sacred wisdom. And for that, he is worthy of celebration. And, of course, in Easter, we have this symbolic reference to death and rebirth. And to me, the message that I understand from Easter, from a symbolic perspective, is that transformation, change, death, destruction, suffering, sacrifice are all kind of like necessary aspects to being able to rise up into something greater. An expansion of consciousness, from a yogic point of view. Our purpose is to expand consciousness, to evolve. Everything is programmed to evolve. And so in order for that transformation to occur and to rise up to something greater, there's always going to be sacrifice. There's always going to be a little bit of discomfort, if not suffering. So if anything, we can celebrate Easter as a symbolic reference to that fine wisdom. All right, so it's 10 o'clock, and this is guided meditation. If you are experienced practicing meditation, then I encourage you to join along. Sometimes it's nice just to have other people to practice with. And sometimes when the mind is extra noisy, there's a lot of external and internal distractions going on. It's nice to have somebody who can, just guide you through the practice. And so that's why I'm here. And if you are new to meditation or have never practiced meditation, then you're in the right place. I think that there's a lot of misconceptions about meditation, and I think people who are new to it are expecting it to be more complicated than it actually is. But meditation is really, when we get down to the core of it, it is the art of being present. So typically we have thoughts, and our mind, our awareness is scattered in a million different directions. It becomes dispersed and diluted. we are energetic beings. When we can draw in all of our awareness and all of our energy and concentrate it in one place, then everything that we experience, everything that we do becomes more powerful and more meaningful and more vivid and more influential. And so meditation is really just a practice of drawing in all of that scattered energy, drawing in, reeling in the mind, so to speak, and concentrating it all in one place. And of course, this is extraordinarily simple as a concept, but in practice, it's not so easy because naturally our brain is just overstimulated and busy all the time and constantly jumping from one thing to the next. And especially in our modern era of, technology and phones, our brains have grown accustomed to constantly being stimulated, and we're constantly, our brain is always looking for something to consume. And so allowing ourselves to just be still within the mind can be very difficult. So it does take practice, and I recommend that you try to practice every day. And seated meditation is a great practice, but that's not the only kind of meditation that there is. Ideally, what we practice here should be a continuance as you move throughout your day into different experiences. So just like the Buddha said, chop wood, carry water, we're applying this meditation practice to every task that we do, every challenge that comes our way, every conversation that we have with other people is guided by this concentrated awareness. And of course, the mind is going to drift away. We are going to, not be able to remain concentrated and present at all times. Even the best of yogis are going to have their moments where they lose touch with the present moment. But that's why we all have to have an anchor, and we have to sort of train ourselves with the use of that anchor so that when we naturally drift away, we have like this tether to the present moment. And at some point, we realize that we're no longer with that anchor. We've drifted away a little bit. And then just once we come to that awareness, no judgment, no frustration, no analyzation, we just go, oh yes, come back. And so there's a lot of different methods that you can use. There's a lot of different anchors. Some people use a mantra. Some people use they count beads. Some people use like visualization techniques. For me, the technique that makes the most sense for me, which I teach the most often, is focusing on our own breathing. The breath is natural, it's portable, it's always available, unless you're holding your breath, of course, unless you're diving under the water, holding your breath, which maybe you do. And the breath acts like a natural bridge, which connects you connects like the physical body and our physical reality with sort of the more deep, esoteric layers of being and our reality. So if you don't already have a technique for meditation, then I encourage you to try this one. So first, before we get started, let's arrive into a comfortable position. Okay, this is a prerequisite to meditation. Asana is a prerequisite. So what is asana? Asana is a position of both stability and ease. And so we need to be able to feel stable, strong, sturdy, alert, but at the same time, we also have to feel relaxed and comfortable. Because if we're too rigid, too stiff, then we're going to start getting discomfort in the body and pain, and we're not going to be able to sink beneath those surface layers and go deeper. And if the same thing, like if we get too comfortable, too relaxed, then it's really easy to lose consciousness. So whether you're seated, whether you want to lie down, let that position be easy, but also allows you to stay awake and alert. And perhaps you want to have the eyes closed, or you can also keep the eyes open and just let the gaze fixate on something either in front of you on the floor right in front of your gaze. Of course, when we close the eyes, then that shuts down the visual cortex and we have less stimulation being processed by the brain. And so it's easier to tune in to what's happening internally. So let's arrive into our meditation. And what that means is we're just arriving fully into the present moment. And just notice the sensation of being present in this space that you occupy in the world in this unique moment in time. You might notice the sensation of the body making contact with the earth. Noticing pressure and weight. Noticing the temperature of the body, the temperature of the surrounding air, touching your skin. You're aware of sounds that are in your environment, but those sounds don't break that thread of awareness. You're aware of them, you're not focusing on them, you're not distracted by them. And let's do a little body scan just to see how the body is feeling today, just allowing ourselves to be fully present with any sensations, guiding the awareness from the toes gradually up through the legs and through the upper body to the top of the head, and then gradually down the shoulders to the fingers, and gradually back through. We're not judging anything that we witness. We're not reacting to it. We're just noticing. And maybe as you sweep the awareness through the body, you notice areas that, maybe could use a little bit more stability, or that could use a little bit more relaxation and release. Notice where you're unnecessarily holding tightness or tension in your body. Common culprits. The shoulders. Feel the shoulders relax away from the ears. Head is just relaxed. The jaw. Wiggle the jaw from side to side and just deliberately relax the jaw. Unfurrow the brow. Let the space between the eyebrows be smooth and soft. Soften and relax the abdomen. All of those core stability muscles. If you're sitting, then just the right amount of muscular engagement to hold you upright. No unnecessary tension. Breath is easily able to move around. And so you notice how there's that subtle movement in the belly as you breathe in and out. I don't know about you, but I think throughout the years of life, and especially as a woman, you get this, you develop this habit of kind of tensing up your belly, trying to hold your belly in. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the belly. The belly's natural. Let the belly be relaxed. We hold a lot of unresolved emotion and tension in our bellies. That restricts the breath. Just free up the breath. Just tune into that natural rhythm of the breath entering and leaving the system. Inhale and exhale. You're not forcing any pattern. You're just observing. When the awareness drifts away, at some point you'll notice. You'll remember your anchor. And when that happens, no big deal. Just arrive back with your anchor, back with the breath. Observing each breath in and each breath out. Even staying present during those momentary moments of stillness that happen in between the phases of breath. If you notice thoughts passing through, or if you notice like sensations in the body, discomfort in the body, you acknowledge it, but try not to react to it. Try not to get emotionally involved with whatever it is, those sensations, those thoughts, those feelings that are naturally going to be flowing through you. Meditation is not a practice of turning the brain off. The brain has to do its job. The brain and the nervous system are always going to be at work. There's always going to be thoughts. sensations, images, impulses. As long as we are alive, we are energetic beings. So the point is not to try to resist that or stop it, to stop that flow, but it's to remain stable and sturdy and relaxed and comfortable despite, without losing our connection. Just continuing to observe every moment. There is no effort, there is no reaching, there is no striving or grasping, there is no expectations, there is no rejection, no resistance. You're simply existing in this unique moment of time and space. And rather than expressing your energy outwards and putting it into something, you're concentrating all of your awareness, all of your energy in this space. And this practice is for the development of that ability. So you want to sit and be quiet and still. Practice often, but also practice taking that awareness out into all the other things that you do. Chop wood, carry water, brush your teeth, drive the car, do the grocery shopping. At some point along the journey of doing those tasks and activities, you drift away and you go, oh yeah, my breath, my anchor, and you come back. And that doesn't mean that all of your attention has to be just on meditating. The point is to get to that state where you're stable, you're relaxed, you're present. And then you can use that energy in a more powerful way. You can use that concentrated awareness in a powerful way to influence those activities and those tasks, to bring that intelligence and that wisdom so that you're not just operating like a machine, like going through the motions while your conscious energy is dispersed in a million different directions. Let's just pause for a few more minutes and just observe this stillness. If the awareness has drifted away, then bring it back to each breath in and each breath out. And even those subtle spaces in between. And perhaps you want to stay here for a little while longer. This is just a little taste and hopefully has inspired some feeling of like you want to do this more often, make this a regular part of your life. So I encourage you to practice this every day. In the morning is always a good time. If you feel sort of lacking in motivation, when you first wake up in the morning, even before you move out of your bed, you can stay laying down or you can sit up in bed, kind of prop yourself up with some pillows as a little transition before you actually get out of bed and start your day. And just tell yourself that you're going to sit there, concentrate your awareness for 5 minutes. You know, it's kind of like a snooze button in a sense, because you don't have to jump out of bed and get on with your day. But you are gradually sort of bringing yourself back into that full consciousness and awareness. Just have 5 minutes of meditation in the morning. And if you're more motivated, then you can do longer. Maybe you can even set up a little space that is dedicated for your meditation. But even if you don't get around to having that dedicated space or dedicated time during your day, that doesn't mean that you get off the hook or that, you know, can't practice. As I said, bring it into your everyday activities. And that's the whole purpose to begin with. This practice where we come to the mat is exactly that. It's practice. It's practice for life in general, the yoga of life. So thank you, Blessed Martha, everybody else who joined today. And yeah, like I said, this is kind of a new thing, just getting used to the technology of it. I'll have to look back and see how the video and the audio turned out, but hopefully each one, you know, will get a little bit better technology-wise. But I really love this idea of us gathering, even if it's in a virtual space, just to know that it's nice to know that there's other people out there in the world that you can come to this wavelength with and explore consciousness with. And so if you know of anybody who, you know, maybe would like to learn meditation or would just like to be in a space with other people practicing, then please direct them to this YouTube channel at Amanda Parr Yoga. Subscribe to it, because once I get a certain number of subscriptions, then it makes it easier for me to do these live streams. So if you haven't already subscribed, just push the subscribe button, and that just helps the algorithm and helps me to do more stuff like this. Okay, so happy Sunday, happy weekend. Happy spring to those of you in the Northern Hemisphere that are feeling that euphoria of spring, which I miss sometimes being on the island because we just have good weather all the time. Not to brag. But I miss that euphoria of spring this time of year, you know, when you've gone through that coldness, that harshness, that kind of like that dead feeling of winter. And then suddenly things are getting green again and you feel a little bit of warmth and sunshine. So if you're experiencing that, then enjoy that. And I'll see you first Sunday of next month, if I don't see you before then. So thank you. Namaste. Namaste. Happy Easter.